Donald Trump has 5 events in Florida today where in-person early voting is on. Hillary Clinton appears to be shifting her focus to electing other Democrats. It may be a preview of things to come. The Democratic nominee over the weekend in North Carolina and Pennsylvania made an aggressive push to unseat incumbent Republican senators and seeking to tie them to some of Donald Trump's most controversial remarks. Here's that.
Unlike her opponent, Deborah has never been afraid to stand up to Donald Trump, because she knows he's wrong for North Carolina, wrong for America. I think it's pretty clear when you look at Katie's opponent. He still refuses to stand up to Donald Trump.
Meanwhile, Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway insists the race is heating up. She says the media are making a mistake in counting Donald Trump out.
The fact is that this race is not over. Many in the media want to say it's over. For the 12th time, they're counting Donald Trump out. We're not giving up. We know we can win this, and we are certainly not acceding to the same chattering class that's been wrong about Donald Trump for about a year and a half.
We're also hearing from Clinton's campaign manager, Robbie Mook, who says their primary focus remains getting their candidate elected.
Every presidential campaign has to work to get to that 270 number, and we're not taking anything for granted at all. So that's still our focus and our goal. Secretary Clinton at the beginning of this campaign said she wanted to help all candidates up and down the ballot, so we're running a coordinated campaign. This is not over yet, and battleground states are called battleground states for a reason.
Congresswoman Blackburn, I want to come to you first to get your thoughts on this.
Well, we have to remember 50 state races. That is what comprises our presidential election. And while you may say, oh, Clinton's up in the polling here, in some of the states it may be closer. And I think that you're going to see some shifting the last couple of weeks. The email scandal is not serving her well. The Clinton Foundation revelations are not serving her well. And this new connection with McAuliffe and the state senator in Virginia is not serving her well.
Interesting. You know, Judge, we have a look at what Donald Trump tweeted today about what he feels is really behind all of some of the polling. Let's look at that, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Let's pop that up on the screen if we can. And so this is a major story that Democrats are now making up phony polls, according to Donald Trump, in order to suppress the Trump vote. And so he says they're still going to win. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, the Trump people are arguing, not Kellyanne Conway, but some of her acolytes did so yesterday, that they did some polling in areas and over-included Democrats and under-included Republicans. I guess their theory is if people think she's ahead by 12 points, then some of his people may stay home. I think that probably cuts both ways. If people think she's ahead by 12 points, some of her people might stay home. So I don't think she has anything to gain by doing that. I also don't know how she, Mrs. Clinton, or her people could control these polls. But I also understand why Donald Trump is saying that. He has to give the impression, no matter how much the odds are against him, that he's still going to fight for this cause, and if you come with me and enough of you do, I'll be in the White House in January. He can't say anything but that.
All right, so Julie, as I come to you, I also want to pop up what Hillary Clinton has been saying when she's asked about Donald Trump and some of the things he's saying on the stump. Let's watch that.
I debated him for 4.5 hours. I don't even think about responding to him anymore. I'm going to let the American people decide between what he offers and what we offer.
So 2 things there kind of struck me. One, is that taking the high road, or is it doing something else? You cannot make a mistake if you do not open your mouth.
So I think it's a little dismissive of her to say. He is running against her. He is the Republican nominee. She's engaged in a debate with him. She has to respond to him. I understand she might not want to. I understand that he's obnoxious. I understand he called her several nasty names.
You think it hurts her if she doesn't respond?
No, I don't think it hurts her. I actually think she's doing the right thing politically. I think the way she said it was a little dismissive, and I wouldn't have advised her to do that. But I'm going to say something to the Trump supporters out there who think these polls are skewed. People said that 4 years ago about Romney. And the people that said that misled Romney supporters who believed that Romney was going to win. And on election night, everybody had a huge rude awakening because they felt the polls were skewed. I think it is a huge mistake for anybody to think that the media, quote unquote, is rigging polling to advance a narrative, because what ends up happening is people end up having a very rude awakening. Let's deal in facts, and let's deal in statistics, and let's deal in mathematics, and that's what elections are all about.
But first of all, when talking about responding to each other's attacks, I think it's important to remember that she called his supporters a basket of deplorables when you're talking about some of the egregious things that have been said. That being said, though, Harris, I want to point out Donald Trump just an hour ago said, "We are winning and the press is refusing to report it. Don't let them fool you. Get out and vote." This is a message that he stays on, Judge. And also, Congresswoman, I want to get your take on the New York Times putting this in one of their most recent pieces. A criticism of Donald Trump saying they've made little effort, referring to his campaign in recent days, to deliver a sharply honed campaign message or to address the flaws at the core of his candidacy. He's dwelling on personal frustrations at the expense of any wider appeal to voters. That's a fair criticism. I mean, here we are in the final stretch. What about a more honed-in message and not just sticking on the media is rigged and this election is rigged?
I think if he went out there and talked about emails, issues, the Clinton Foundation, and getting this country back on the right track, he would be so well served. What he laid out at Gettysburg is what people are wanting to hear. They are frustrated on the national security issue. Our troops are frustrated. Believe you me, I've got a major military post in my district, and they do not like that she was treated one way by mishandling classified emails, and any military person who mishandles one on one device is going to get a court-martial. It is so uneven-handed. They don't.
Congresswoman Blackburn is absolutely correct about the way the military is aggressively prosecuted for the mishandling of one email. But to what Donald Trump has been saying or hasn't been saying, he buried the lead in his own so-called Gettysburg address over the weekend by beginning it with, "I'm going to sue these ladies." At that point, he turned the media and the crowd off.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in detail later, but it does dovetail onto what we're saying here. I want to go to something that I think you can explain to us maybe in a detailed way, Congresswoman, and that is where the electoral votes are right now. Because the projections by Fox News over the weekend took it into 307 for Hillary Clinton, which is above the 270 she would need, and 183 for Donald Trump, which is below what he would need. And even if he picked up the 50 that are up for grabs, he would have to take some from her. So strategy-wise, because you've run a campaign and you've won a campaign, what would you tell him right now?
I would say focus on the issues. Focus on what people want to hear. I would be nonstop talking about what I'm going to do on the first 100 days. I would not say anything on any personal issues. I would go strictly for this is the agenda and this is what we're going to do. And let me tell you, I'm talking with members of Congress. We're getting these bills ready. We are ready to move forward with this. Let's make America great again. Let's make America safe again. Let's make America one again. I would certainly hope so, because it's what the country...
You're waiting for that pivot, Congresswoman, any day now. You're waiting for that pivot.
I know we are. We want to see that pivot. You're exactly right. Let's stay focused on those issues. You know, go back and remember, this is a change election. People wanted an outsider. And that is what they came into this election cycle looking for. It's why you had 17 people standing on the Republican side during the primaries. And people threw a long ball with somebody who was the outsider. So we'll see how it goes.
And I hear the frustration among people in your party that you're talking the word pivot still this late in the game. It should just be straight ahead, according to what some
issues,
of you
emails,
are talking
foundation.
About.